The Galactic Council was a grand assembly of alien leaders from different planets. They gathered in a massive hall filled with shimmering lights and strange, colorful decorations. Each leader represented a unique race, with their own customs and technologies. Today, they had come together to discuss a surprising find, an ancient warship floating in a forgotten corner of space. As the meeting began, the Council's president, a tall, green-skinned alien with many eyes, opened the discussion. "We must consider this old warship. What can we learn from it?" he asked, a serious tone in his voice. The room went silent for a moment. Then bursts of laughter erupted. "An ancient warship? What a joke!" chuckled a short, blue-skinned leader with antennae. "That ship probably can't even move." Other council members joined in, laughing and shaking their heads. As the laughter echoed through the hall, the council discussed their own advanced ships. They boasted about their hyperspeed engines and energy shields, claiming no one could compare. They called the old warship junk and dismissed it as a relic of a primitive time. The tall president tried to regain control, but the ridicule continued. Among the council members was a young leader named Zara. She sat quietly, listening to the laughter, feeling uneasy. Zara had always been fascinated by human history and their ability to create. She couldn't understand why everyone was mocking the ship without even looking at it. As the laughter died down, she decided to speak up. "Maybe we should take a closer look at the warship," she suggested, her voice steady. "There could be more to it than we think." The room fell silent again. Some members exchanged glances, surprised by her boldness. "Why waste our time?" another leader scoffed. "It's just an old ship." But Zara's curiosity was strong. She remembered the stories she had heard about humans, their creativity and determination. They had built things from nothing and had fought against great odds. She felt a sense of pride in their achievements and believed that the warship might hold valuable lessons. "Let's not judge it too quickly," Zara urged. "We could learn something important." Slowly, the atmosphere in the room began to shift. A few members nodded, intrigued by her words. The tall president sighed, recognizing the need for caution. "Very well, Zara. We will inspect the warship, but only to prove it's worthless." The council agreed to send a team to explore the ship, including Zara and a human expert named David. David was known for his deep knowledge of human technology. He was excited but nervous about working with the council. As they prepared to board the ship, Zara felt a mix of hope and anxiety. When they arrived at the warship, it looked battered and worn, drifting in the cold void of space. Its hull was covered in rust, and its once bright colors had faded. Yet something about it felt powerful. Zara sensed that this ship had stories to tell. As they boarded the ship, David took the lead. He pointed out various features, explaining how humans had designed them for battle. The council members listened, their skepticism starting to fade. Zara watched as their expressions changed from laughter to curiosity. "Look at this weapon system," David said, activating a control panel. "It may seem old, but it has a range of advanced capabilities. This ship was built for real fights." Zara smiled, sensing the council's growing interest. As they explored further, she knew they were beginning to see the warship in a new light. The council members were finally realizing that their initial mockery might have been a mistake. The laughter had turned to silence as they absorbed the truth. Perhaps this ancient ship was not just a laughingstock. It held the key to understanding humanity's strength. The journey of discovery had only just begun, and Zara hoped it would change the Council's perception of humans forever. The Galactic Council team gathered in front of the ancient warship, its rusted surface glimmering faintly under the stars. The ship seemed to tell stories of battles fought long ago, but the Council members had only recently started to take it seriously. Zara stood with David, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. This was their chance to uncover the truth about humanity's past. As they boarded the ship, the air inside was stale, filled with the scent of old metal and forgotten dreams. Zara looked around, taking in the dim lighting and the intricate designs that adorned the walls. "This ship is beautiful in its own way," she whispered to David. David nodded, scanning the control panels and weapon systems. Humans designed it to be functional and effective. "Let's see what it can do." He walked over to the main control panel, brushing off layers of dust. The council members followed closely, their laughter from before replaced by a sense of awe. "Look here," David said, pressing a button. A low hum filled the air, and the ship's systems began to power up. Lights flickered on, illuminating the interior. The council members gasped, their eyes wide with surprise. The ship was awakening, and it was not just an old relic, it still had life. "Impressive!" one council member exclaimed. "I didn't expect it to still work." David smiled, encouraged by their reactions. This ship was built to last. Let's check out the weapon systems next. He led them deeper into the ship, past narrow corridors and through heavy doors. Each step revealed more about the vessel's capabilities. They arrived at a weapons bay filled with missile launchers and energy cannons. David explained how each weapon functioned, detailing the technology that humans had created. "These systems may look old, but they are effective. This ship could hold its own in a battle," he declared. As Zara listened, she saw the council members' skepticism begin to fade. They exchanged glances, and some even took notes. Zara felt a surge of hope. Maybe they would finally understand the true value of humanity's achievements. Suddenly, a council member named Tarek, known for his sharp tongue, stepped forward. "So you say this ship can still fight? Prove it," he challenged. The other members murmured in agreement, eager for a demonstration. David hesitated for a moment, then said, "All right, we can simulate a battle scenario. But first, we need to make sure the systems are operational." He began typing commands into the control panel, his fingers moving swiftly across the buttons. Zara watched as the screens lit up, showing maps and tactical layouts. The ship was transforming from a dusty relic into a potential weapon of war. The atmosphere shifted. Excitement replaced the tension as everyone anticipated what would happen next. "Let's set up a mock enemy fleet," David suggested. "We can see how this ship performs in a controlled environment." The council members agreed, and soon they were working together to create a simulation of an enemy attack. As the mock enemy ships appeared on the screens, Zara felt her heart race. She could see the council members leaning forward, their attention focused. David activated the ship's systems, and the warship responded with impressive efficiency. The targeting systems locked onto the simulated enemies, ready for action. "Here we go," David said, his voice steady. "Watch closely." He pressed a button, and the warship fired its weapons at the targets. Bright flashes lit up the screen as explosions erupted in the simulation. The council members gasped, their eyes wide with disbelief. "This is incredible!" one of them shouted. "I never thought an old ship could do this." As the mock battle continued, Zara felt a sense of pride swell within her. The council was beginning to see what she had always known. Humans were capable of great things, even with their ancient technology. The laughter from the previous meeting felt like a distant memory. Instead, a newfound respect filled the room. Zara realized this moment could change everything. The Galactic Council was starting to understand the true power of humanity. The atmosphere inside the ancient warship buzzed with excitement as the Galactic Council members gathered around the control panel. David, the human expert, stood at the forefront, his fingers dancing across the buttons. The council was eager to see what this old ship could really do, and Zara could feel the tension in the air. They were ready for a true test of power. "Let's simulate a real battle," David announced, looking at the council members with determination. "This time we'll create a full-scale enemy fleet to see how the warship performs in action." He could sense their excitement, and he hoped this demonstration would change their minds completely. The council quickly set to work. They discussed strategies and established what the enemy fleet would look like. Zara watched as their initial doubts transformed into enthusiasm. The once skeptical members were now eager participants, fully engaged in the process. It felt good to see them united in a common goal. Once they had their plan, David activated the ship's systems. The screens lit up with detailed schematics of the enemy fleet. "We have 2 large ships and several smaller fighters," he explained, pointing at the various displays. "The warship will need to use its weapons wisely to win this battle." As he pressed a few buttons, the holographic images of the enemy ships flickered to life. The council members leaned in closer, their eyes glued to the screens. Zara felt her heart race as the mock battle began. "Ready, Captain?" David asked, addressing the ship's AI system. A calm, robotic voice replied, "Ready for combat." The ship's systems hummed to life, and Zara could feel the excitement in the room. "Engage the enemy!" David commanded, his voice firm. The warship launched its simulated weapons, targeting the approaching enemy fleet. Bright lights flashed on the screens as the warship fired missiles and energy blasts. The enemy ships responded, launching their own attacks. The room filled with gasps and cheers from the council members. They were witnessing the power of the ancient warship in action. "Look at those maneuvers!" one council member exclaimed. The warship deftly dodged incoming fire, demonstrating agility that surprised everyone. Zara felt a swell of pride as she watched the ship move with precision, as if it were alive. The battle raged on in the simulation. The warship's weapons struck true, taking out enemy ships one by one. The council members were now fully invested, shouting words of encouragement as they watched the mock fight unfold. Zara couldn't help but smile at their enthusiasm. They were no longer mocking this ancient technology. "David, we need to deploy the energy shields," Zara shouted, recalling a feature she had learned about during their inspection. David quickly input the commands, and the ship's shields activated just in time to absorb a powerful blast from the enemy fleet. The council erupted in cheers. "This ship can actually hold its own," one member shouted, clapping Zara on the back. The laughter and doubt from their previous meeting felt like a distant memory. As the battle reached its climax, the warship unleashed its final attack. With a swift and calculated move, it fired a massive energy blast, obliterating the last remaining enemy ship. The simulation ended and the screens went dark, leaving the room in stunned silence. David turned to the council, a triumphant smile on his face. "That was just a simulation, but it shows what this ship can do. Imagine the possibilities if we fully restore it." Zara felt a wave of relief wash over her. The council members were no longer just spectators. They had become believers. The ancient warship had proven itself, and humanity's ingenuity had begun to earn respect in the eyes of the Galactic Council. "This changes everything, Tarek," the sharp-tongued member finally said, his voice filled with sincerity. "We need to rethink how we view humans and their technology." Zara beamed with pride. The warship had passed the test, and in doing so, it had forged a new path for humanity among the stars. The council was ready to embrace collaboration, and Zara couldn't wait to see where this journey would lead them next. The atmosphere in the warship had transformed from skepticism to excitement. As the council members gathered around David and Zara, their expressions reflected a mixture of awe and curiosity. The ancient warship had proven its worth in the simulated battle, and now it was time for deeper revelations. "Now that you've seen its power, let's talk about what this ship represents," David began, his voice steady. "This warship isn't just a relic, it's a symbol of human resilience and creativity. It was built during a time of great struggle, when humanity faced its greatest challenges." The council members listened closely, their previous laughter forgotten. Zara felt the weight of David's words. She knew the story behind the warship, and now it was time to share it. "Humans have always faced obstacles," she added. "We built this ship to protect ourselves and explore the stars, even when we had limited resources." One council member raised a hand, a look of concern on his face. "But why did you stop using it? Why is it here drifting alone?" Zara took a deep breath, ready to explain. After many battles, humanity turned to new technologies. We built faster ships with better shields and weapons. This warship was retired, left to float in space as a memory of our past. The council members exchanged glances, contemplating the idea. "So, it's not just an old ship," Tarek said slowly. "It carries the history of your people." "Exactly," David replied. "Every dent and scratch tells a story of survival. We didn't forget our past, we honored it. But now we must bring this ship back to life." Zara saw a spark of understanding in the council members' eyes. They were beginning to realize that this warship was more than just metal and technology. It was a testament to humanity's spirit. "Imagine what we could achieve together," Zara urged. "If we restore this ship, we could combine our knowledge and resources." The tall, green-skinned president of the council leaned forward. "What do you propose, David? How can we work together to revitalize this ship?" David smiled, encouraged by the enthusiasm around him. "We can start by repairing the systems and updating the technology. Your engineers can work with ours, sharing ideas and methods. Together we can create something extraordinary." The council members began to murmur among themselves, clearly excited by the prospect. Zara felt her heart race. This was the moment she had hoped for, a chance to build bridges between their worlds. One member stood up, her bright blue skin shimmering in the light. "I believe we should take this opportunity seriously. If we can revive this warship, it could change how the galaxy sees humans. We could become allies instead of enemies." Zara nodded, her eyes shining with hope. "Yes, together we can show everyone that our past is a part of our strength." Let's build a new future. As the discussion continued, Zara could see the council's excitement grow. They began to form committees and assign tasks. Ideas flowed freely and plans were set in motion. The ancient warship was no longer a laughingstock, it was a project that could unite their worlds. David turned to Zara, a proud smile on his face. You did it. You helped them see the value in what we have. Zara felt a rush of joy. We did it. Together we can change everything. As the meeting progressed, a sense of purpose filled the room. The council members were no longer focused on their differences. Instead, they were eager to collaborate and learn from one another. In that moment, Zara realized that this warship was a bridge to a new understanding. It had taken them from mockery to respect, from doubt to determination. The Galactic Council had been transformed, and humanity was no longer seen as insignificant. As the sun began to set beyond the ship, casting a warm glow over the council, Zara felt hopeful. The journey ahead would be challenging, but together they could create something truly remarkable. The revelation of the warship's true significance had sparked a new beginning, and the stars seemed a little brighter that day. The atmosphere in the warship buzzed with energy as the Galactic Council members and their human allies set to work. Excitement filled the air, and the once dusty ship was now a hub of activity. Engineers from various races mingled, sharing ideas and expertise united by a common goal to restore the ancient warship. Zara moved through the busy corridors, her heart swelling with pride. It was incredible to see everyone working together. David stood near the control panel, discussing upgrades with a group of alien engineers. His enthusiasm was contagious, and Zara could see that the council members were beginning to view humanity in a new light. "Look at this!" David exclaimed, pointing to a section of the control panel. "If we integrate your technology with ours, we can enhance the targeting systems and make them even more accurate." The engineers nodded, scribbling notes and brainstorming improvements. As they worked, Zara took a moment to reflect on how far they had come. Just a short time ago, the council had ridiculed the warship, but now it was the center of their efforts. She couldn't help but smile at the transformation. During lunch breaks, Zara organized informal discussions, where council members could share stories about their cultures. They laughed and exchanged ideas, creating bonds that went beyond technology. Zara saw the respect growing between humans and the council members. It was a beautiful sight. One day, while they were having lunch, Tarek approached Zara. "I have to admit, I was wrong about humans. You have shown us that your history is rich and meaningful. I'm glad we are working together." His words felt like a victory to Zara. "Thank you, Tarek. We have much to learn from each other," she replied, feeling a warmth in her heart. As the weeks passed, the restoration of the warship progressed rapidly. The engineers worked late into the night, fueled by coffee and determination. The ship's systems were upgraded and new technology was integrated. Zara and David often stayed late, encouraging the team and celebrating their achievements. One afternoon, they gathered in the main bay to see the ship in its near-completed state. The once rusted exterior had been polished, and the control panel shone with advanced technology. Zara felt a sense of pride wash over her. They had transformed this relic into a powerful vessel. "Everyone, gather around!" David called out, his voice filled with excitement. The team assembled, their faces filled with anticipation. "Today we will conduct the first test flight of our newly restored warship." Cheers erupted, and Zara couldn't help but join in. The moment had arrived, and everyone was eager to see how the ship would perform. They climbed aboard, buzzing with energy and enthusiasm. As David took the helm, Zara stood beside him, her heart racing. "Are you ready?" he asked, grinning at her. "Absolutely," she replied, her excitement contagious. With a deep breath, David activated the engines. The warship hummed to life, the familiar sounds echoing through the corridors. The ship began to move, gliding smoothly out of the hangar and into space. The stars twinkled around them, and Zara felt a rush of joy. As they entered open space, David piloted the ship with confidence. "Let's test the maneuvers!" he shouted, and he began to steer the ship through sharp turns and dives. The council members gasped and cheered, amazed by the ship's agility. After the maneuvers, David initiated a series of weapon tests. The ship's systems performed flawlessly, launching energy blasts and simulated missiles. Each successful test drew cheers from the crew, filling the warship with a sense of achievement. When the test flight ended, Zara felt a wave of relief and joy. They had done it. The warship was not only operational, but was now a testament to the power of collaboration. As they returned to the Galactic Council, Zara looked around at her friends and colleagues. They had built more than just a ship. They had built a bridge between their worlds. The ancient warship now represented hope and unity. Tarek stood before the council, his voice strong. "This ship is a symbol of our new partnership. Together we can face any challenge the galaxy throws at us. Let this be the beginning of a bright future." Zara's heart swelled with pride. The council had transformed, and humanity had found a place among the stars. They had learned from each other, and together they were ready to face whatever came next. The future was bright, and Zara knew they were just getting started.